Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So today I am going to present about agreement, and before that I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fatin Farisha binti Joes Elias Marius and my metric number is 264561. Before we proceed for agreement lesson, let's look at what will we learn for today. So there are verb tenses, which include the present, past and future tenses, and also simple, continuous and perfect tenses. And lastly, we will learn about the auxiliary verb. Let us take a look at general rules of agreement. Subject, who is performing action, and verb, what is the subject performing, in English sentence must agree, where singular subject must have the singular verb, and the same goes with plural subject, it must have the plural verb. To make it clearer, I am using the example of present tense in order to show how the general rule of agreement actually works. So, in present tense, when the subject is plural, we will add an s at the nouns, not at the verb. And when the subject is singular, we will add an s at the verb, not at the nouns. Let us take a look at the examples that I have provided there. The first one, the cats drink milk. We can obviously see it is plural because the letter s is added at the nouns, not at the verb, and it does agree with the plural subject must have the plural verb. Okay? And the same goes with the second example. The cat drinks milk. The letter s is added at the verb, and it does agree with the singular subject must have the singular verb. And that is how agreement works. Both subject and verb must be in singular form or in plural form. However, there is an exception for you and I, even though they are singular nouns, but they are treated as in plural verb. So, the letter s will be only added at the nouns, not at the verb. Okay, let us take a look at the examples. Supposedly, it should be I love you, not I loves you. And it should be hey, there you are, not hey, there you is. Next is I think we should dance, not I thinks we should dance. And the last one, do you know him? Not do you knows him? That's wrong. Now I am going to present about verb tenses. There are three main verb tenses, which are present, past, and future, and each of them is divided into simple, continuous, and perfect tenses. Now let's go through present, past, and future tense one by one. First one is present tense. Present tense is an action that is happening right now. For instance, Adlit lives in Malaysia. Second is past tense, which is an action that already took place, already happened. For instance, Adlit lived in Malaysia. And lastly, future tense is an action that is going to happen. For instance, Alit will live in United States America. The three subtypes of tenses are simple, continuous, and perfect tense. Simple tense describe actions without specifically stating whether the action is completed or ongoing. Example, I eat, she dances, they cry. As for continuous tense, it shows an action that is, was, or will be in progress at a certain time. Examples, Wawa is feeding her cat. he is singing. And lastly, perfect tense. It indicates a completed action or condition. Examples: he had left the party. The cake was eaten by my mother. The last point in agreement is auxiliary verb. There are three main auxiliary verbs, which are do that exist in simple tenses, be that exist in continuous tenses, and have that exist in perfect tenses. So we will go through one by one in the next slide. The first one is do. We usually use it in negative sentence. In simple present tense, we use subject plus don't plus doesn't plus base verb. For example, they don't like the food. In simple past tense, we use subject plus didn't plus base verb. For example, he didn't go home. The second one is be. It is used in two forms of English grammar, which are progressive and passive. We will go through the progressive first. Progressive shows an action that's still in progress. So, the verb that used in this progressive type will be ended by ing. Okay, in present, we will use am, is, or plus verb ing. For example, Fadli is winning the game. In past, we will use was or were plus verb ing. For example, Fadli was winning the game. As for the future, we will use will be plus verb ing. For example, Fadli will be winning the game. As for passive is focusing on the action. In present, we will use am, is, or are plus past participle. For example, dinner is eaten. In past, we will use was or were plus past participle. For example, dinner was eaten. And as for the future, we will also use the will be, but plus with past participle, and it will be dinner will be eaten. Finally, the last part of auxiliary verb is have. In present perfect, we will use subject plus have or has plus past participle. For example, he has eaten. They have eaten. Has is for singular and have is for plural. In past perfect, we will use subject plus had plus past participle. Example, she had done her tasks. My brother had rung the bell. In past perfect, we will use had for both singular and plural. In future perfect, we will use subject plus will have plus past participle. Examples, they will have played football. The cat will have eaten its breakfast. Yay, you have finally arrived the last part of agreement. So in this slide or in this part, I have summarized everything. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry for my mispronounced words and excuse for my started and thank you. Do ask simple question only, okay? Bye. Assalamualaikum.